alien. Sean David Morton is also here. Back to them both in a moment. You're listening to Victor make his last public statement. And so, Victor, I would like to ask another question. Without telling me, because I realize it would compromise you, specifically how you got this information digitally out, can you describe in a generic way the security at Area 51 and S4?
In a generic way?
In a generic way. In other words, I don't want to know how you got this out, because I'm sure you won't tell me, but I would like to know what kind of security they have at these bases.
Do you mean personnel security?
Sure.
Yes, well, the Groom Dry Lake facility is actually relatively low tech. They have badges and they have fingerprint readers. S4 goes a step further with retinal scan. But as far as the transfer of materials out of either facility, this is strictly controlled. In fact, it's an interesting example of how the government fails in its efforts, even on this level, because the offices and the facilities at S4 have numerous personal mementos, which were not supposed to be brought in, and somehow were. Which is a never-ending source of amazement to me.
Well, if somebody can get somebody in, something in, then one would presume you could get them out as well. Is a body search a normal course of events?
Yes, certainly at S4. I'm not going to make that statement, but certainly at S4, yes.
Mm-hmm. Sean, anything you want to chime in on here?
Yes. Can you describe anything about the hangars at S4? Anything unusual about the offices and how the hangars were actually connected?
In what sense?
As far as, were there offices at the far end of the actual hangars at S4?
You mean by the far end? You mean in relation to the personnel elevators, or?
The personnel elevators, did you actually stay at S4? I mean, did they fly you up there?
No. At Groom Lake, there are military personnel who sleep at the base, but at S4, the staff is bussed in and out on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
And you were bussed in and out and then flown in and out?
Yes. Yes, right, yes.
Bob?
In a sense, let us say, metaphorically speaking, that covers it. I didn't want to make comments about.
All right. Bob Lazar was or claimed to be working, in essence, as a subcontractor, a civilian, employed to back engineer these craft that you talked about at S4.
Right.
Can you tell us if you were in that category or
No. At this point, I will understand that you ask these questions, but obviously that falls within the category of questions I won't answer.
All right. Can you tell us if your relationship with the people there is still in place?
No, I will not specify, and I will not specify whether or not I intend to be going on to Utah. My profile at Area 51, I think I have succeeded in keeping rather vague. My public profile in the statements I've made so far. I've reviewed the tape I made for Rocket several times, trying to imagine how someone might infer from my statements things that I meant to keep secret. And frankly, in that case, I forced them to pre-interview me, and then I nixed a number of questions. And they still asked them. It was a semi-fiasco from
I think we were just curious as to whether or not you might be able to get into the base again and maybe bring more video out or more information at any point in the future.
The moment when video could be brought out, I believe, has passed. That's not to say that another similar moment of confusion and indecision on the part of the authorities won't arise again. But this particular 2-minute 55-second clip was strictly a case of an opportunity presenting itself at a particular moment when the facility was in turmoil, when a number of forces came together. Number one, they've eliminated all of their video. Someone came up with the bright idea that all of this secret documentation would be more secret in a digital format, and of course anybody involved in the internet knows this is not the case, and a good chunk of their budget that they didn't expect to be spending is now spent trying to second guess the ways in which this information can be spread. But at the moment that this clip presented itself to be smuggled out, as we are saying, the confusion, the bureaucratic confusion, and the actual physical confusion at S4 made it possible, and that's no longer the case.
An opportunity. All right. Victor, is there any more video that you have other than that?
No, there is none.
That is a totality.
I've seen other video, but this was the piece that I could take in a metaphorical sense. Again, the Morton's misstatement in his newsletter is correct. Metaphorically, I did see the opportunity and I did take it, and this was the extent, this was the size of the bundle that I could metaphorically again smuggle out. Mm-hmm. There were the riches that were that are available are truly mind-boggling. And by the way, I was speaking to Morton during the commercial for a moment, and he brought up the alien autopsy, which I believe, in fact, I would say that I know has to be a hoax, because if only because the beings in that video do not resemble any of the beings in any of the other documentation, and I have not seen the actual autopsies from Roswell. So,
all right,
in some sort of strange way, it could be true, but I do not believe it.
Victor,
certainly the style does not resemble any of the material from the 40s.
All right, Victor. Then what do you say to the people who say this is a hoax?
I say that's your right to believe that, and I only hope that you study the video before you jump to that conclusion. Also, I hope that this is the beginning of a trend. I don't believe that the government can stand down at Area 51 and not have the kind of leak that it cannot spin to its advantage in the way that so many previous leaks have been spun.
Victor, if they were to identify you now, knowing that you have smuggled this video out,
yes.
If they found you and identified you, what do you believe would happen to you?
I am uncertain. Clearly, Robert Lazar is still alive, but I believe that he has suffered more than even he really understands for what he did. And there have been others who still remain nameless. I suppose at best I would be another doubtful character with a face instead of an anonymous question mark. At worst, I would be dead.